Ramesh, welcome to Cyprus.
Hello.
A very last minute trip, yes?
Yes, it was not planned properly, or probably my fault. I'd promised Vaishali and Pragg that if either of them or both win, I would be there.
Oh.
And so when Vaishali's game was over, I had to quickly arrange a ticket. And Harshini's father, he helped, and he was awake like till 2 or 3 in the morning, and somehow managed the ticket and pulled it off.
Wow. And you came like just when Vaishali was going on stage. So
Yes.
that was perfect timing.
Yeah, very good timing. Like in movies, usually the police come after the heroes captured all the villains. So I did some kind of an entrance like that.
And Vaishali, when she went on stage, like she was so happy to see you there. Her first words were like, "I'm so glad my coach is here." That must have been very special.
Yeah. But how I would say is like it's not the words what people say, it's the emotions behind. So I was really happy that in her special moment I was there.
Amazing. I want to kind of go back in time and speak a bit about Vaishali, because I think you have played a very big role in molding her talent. So do you remember like the first time you saw her? Where did you meet her? How it all began?
Yeah, so when I started working with Vaishali, it was also along with Pragg. So it was, I started working with both of them together. And so if I'm not mistaken, probably 2014, I guess, I was invited by South Indian Journalists Association to give a prize to some sportsmen. And I was supposed to present a prize to Pragg, award to Pragg. And so we went to a hotel, that's where the function was, and we were waiting for the event to begin. At that time, Pragg's parents, his father mainly, came to me and said like, would you be interested to work with both of them? And I immediately agreed because even then they both were very strong players.
I think
Pragg was
just
already a world under-8 champion,
Yeah.
I think, and Vaishali was maybe under 10. So they were already very strong players. And for me, I always enjoy working with players not only who have potential but who enjoy chess, who love chess, and who don't mind working long hours. So I was very thankful for the opportunity and immediately agreed. That's how it started. And they started coming to Chess Gurukul. And I was taking most of my classes, almost all my classes at Chess Gurukul back then. And they used to come from very far. Their house is they are still living the same place.
Paddy, yes?
Paddy.
Yeah.
And they come from that's maybe 1.5 hours journey by his father's two-wheeler. And despite his handicap, he used to bring them both to the class. And most of the time they will come in the morning, maybe 8:30, 9. The classes will start at 9:30 if I remember correctly. They'll come and have breakfast. The mother will have to cook everything before then. And she'll cook the breakfast, lunch and dinner and send both the kids with the parents, or many times she will also come. And many times they will come by bus and so on. And they will have the breakfast and then attend the class, and then have lunch and then attend the class, and then the classes will finish by 7:30 or so.
Wow.
Sometimes 8:30, and then they will stay back, have the dinner, because to reach home it will be like 10:30. So they have the dinner and then go back. And it was always group lessons. We had many players at that point. Pragg generation, Divya was also coming, Rakshita, Ravi, Michelle, Katrina, Nandita, and so on. So there were many players who were coming, and it was a lot of fun because they were all very young, very innocent, and very hardworking, very passionate, very ambitious. And to work with such a group of players, it was a privilege. I enjoyed it immensely, and that's how it all started.
This number of hours that you are talking about is huge, right? Like it's almost like 8 to 10 hours of chess.
So if I'm not mistaken, it will be 9 to 5, something like that, with a 1 hour break in between. And during the lunch break, we will have the lunch. In 5 minutes, we will finish, and then everyone will go to play. So because they were all very young, we used to play hide and seek, running and catching, this kind of things.
I've also actually played in that when Jacob had come, we had done this,
Yes.
and then we were playing hide and seek. And,
And then after a few years, we had a table tennis table put in our terrace, and none of us know how to play, and we all started playing every day, and we all became reasonably good, and we're not so bad anymore. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
And what was it about Vaishali that actually caught your eye? Because Vaishali also mentioned in our interview that when she began, her first trainer Thiagarajan had imbibed a lot of love for chess in her. So when she came to you, what was it that you saw was her strengths, and what were the things you felt were missing?
No, the most important thing to be successful in any field, I would say the first is passion. You should really enjoy that activity. It's not for the ambition alone, like you want to achieve something in that, or you can make money or become popular. All that is secondary, but the primary is it should make you happy in doing that activity. So with Pragg and Vaishali, they just loved chess. They can breathe chess, eat chess, sleep chess, walk chess. Like Rajinikanth used to say, I walk English, I talk English. So like that, it was everything for them even before they came to me. So I would say like Thiagarajan has done a fantastic job with his students, especially with these two players. He has imbibed what is the most important thing to be successful in chess, that passion. And not just the passion, also the work ethics. So even when they come, they were already hardworking. For most of the players, this has to be taught, that there is so much to be learned, and you have to put in a lot of effort. And if we try this with 10 players, maybe one or two we can convince. 8 to 9, they will in principle agree with this, but they cannot do it. Most of them come up with a lot of excuses. I have homework, I have exams, I have to study, I go for piano class, whatever. But no excuses. They will just say, if you say like you have to work 10 hours a day, they'll say, okay, that's it. So how to find that 10 hours, it's their problem, and they will have to do it. This kind of commitment and tremendous work ethics, I wish every coach can learn this, how Thiagarajan did it with these two kids. He has really produced gems.
Wow, that's amazing, and it also feels so nice that it comes from you to Thiagarajan, because
no, the thing is, sad thing is like he should have got more attention or visibility or prominence than what he has got in reality. So it's a sad thing. That's why at this opportunity I want to thank him for what he has done, what he has contributed to Indian chess. It's amazing, and without his contribution I don't think we would be sitting here and doing this interview. And with Vaishali, as I said, the passion for the game and the work ethics were both out of earth. And also they both, like, they are so close to each other. Like even if they come at morning 8:30, they will quickly have the breakfast and immediately start playing blitz. And there'll be no one else in the academy, and the children will start slowly coming in for the 9 o'clock class. And then when they see like these two are playing, everyone will start coming at 8:30, so they all can play blitz. So whenever they get the time off, they will be playing blitz with each other when they were young. And so for many players, we have to tell them, like for many children, they would see chess during the class, but for them, they are seeing chess all the time. So whether there is a class or not, they are like, I don't know how they are able to do it, but it's very inspiring to see them do it. And she was quite strong, maybe 1950, something like that at that point, and Pragg was maybe 1700, maybe 200 to 50 points. She was higher rated than Pragg, but then Pragg became an IM in a very short time, and then he went to 2400. So at that time it had some impact on her, but then she got accustomed to it. And all these phases they have to go through, and nice to see that over a period of time, now it has culminated with her.
I think these are many complex phases that you also must have gone through with both Pragg and Vaishali. But one of the most complex phase must have been when they were financially not so strong, and both careers had to be sustained. That was in the initial period.
Yeah, that was in the initial period, first couple of years or so. But then when Pragg became an IM, Mr. Venkatraman Raja from Ramco Group, he had invited us to, basically wanted to congratulate Pragg and the family. And so when we were there, I don't know if it was me or Mr. D.V. Sundar, one of us, we approached the subject like, if they can be sponsored, it will be amazing. And he readily agreed, let's do it. So that's how it started. And they started taking care of all their travels, because even at that young age, they started playing in Europe. And I remember maybe around 2016 or 17, I had to convince many parents from other parts of India. Like I was also taking classes in Mumbai for a couple of years, and at that time I had to, when I met the parents there, I suggested you should take your children to play in Europe if it is affordable for you. And a lot of convincing had to happen. Only if you manage to agree to that suggestion. It's simply because if the child is passionate and if it is affordable, it's good to make them international players at a very young age. So when they travel to other countries, the competition they see, it's very good for from the learning perspective. So traveling was a tough challenge back then. Thanks to Venkatraman Raja, that phase we could cover quickly, and then he became an IM and then GM, and then they kept raising the sponsorship to meet all the demands. So special thanks to Mr. Venkatraman Raja. And not just that, even now, so currently they are still sponsoring Vaishali. And Pragg has moved to the Adani group. And even now, like he had actually called me yesterday. And
Venkatraman Raja.
Mr. Venkatraman Raja, but I could not attend the call, and I just forgot about it. I have to call him back. So even now he keeps calling once in a while and ask how the kids are doing, and not just as a matter of courtesy or something. He is really interested, and he wishes good for their growth. So he calls and I say like, what is the problem in their games? If there is a bad performance, how can we help them overcome this? Is there something from our side we have to do? And I suggested we need some servers to analyze. This was many years ago, and he immediately arranged for one to help in his preparation. So whatever we ask, he immediately agrees, and he is still supporting Vaishali wholeheartedly. Thanks to him, they could handle the initial problems, financial problems, quite well.
You know, I was interviewing Emil Sutovsky, FIDE CEO, and he mentioned that about Vaishali, there is something where she is able to win big events. Like she won Grand Swiss twice. Candidates also she won. So there's something in her where she raises her game and she can win tournaments. It's not a very easy skill.
Yes, I do agree and acknowledge that. But it was not something she developed recently. As I mentioned, she was already a world under 10 champion, under 12 champion, and so on. And they quickly lost interest in World Youth Championships because they felt it's not very challenging. And I remember she got her GM norm in Extracon, Denmark.
Yes, I remember.
Very strong open against a very strong opposition she made. And I'm seeing many children go to Serbia or Hungary for Saturday tournaments, basically closed tournaments which are organized very periodically, and they try to make norms. But both Pragg and Vaishali, like they wanted to make the norms playing in open tournaments where your opposition, you have no control whom you are going to play, and you will be playing only those who deserve. Like if you get good points, you will play good plays, otherwise you won't. So that was another quality. She has always been winning big tournaments. And one thing I would say, maybe you can look at it another way, it's like she could win more. Maybe that is what is missing. She is capable of winning more rather than doing one big tournament in a year. Like one FIDE Grand Swiss in 1 year, she is capable of winning big tournaments at a consistent level. that is something we have to work on.
And looking at Vaishali, she does come across as someone who is very poker faced, but I think people close to her know that she's very emotional
Yes.
from within, because when you were also talking, she said like after few bad performances, she was not going to play Grand Swiss. She also had thoughts of leaving chess. So this emotion, I'm sure that you would have had many conversations around this kind of emotional approach to chess.
Yeah, compared to both Vaishali and Pragg, Vaishali is a bit more emotional in that sense. Losses can affect her more personally. But this is a challenge as a coach for me also. Like I am seeing this with most players. Almost everyone has this issue. No one likes to lose, everyone wants to win. More than everyone wants to win, no one wants to lose. And when losses, they're bound to happen. Even for extremely strong players, they are still going to lose games. So, what is the way? Is there a way where a player can make peace with a loss without losing confidence, without becoming too sad and let it affect the subsequent games? And this is something I'm trying to find a solution myself. I'm trying different things, but the thing is, it's easy to give advice to someone not to get upset, but when we go through tough times, it just happens. The Anand said in an interview beautifully, like we should learn to deal with losses. You can afford to get sad, but without losing confidence. So we should learn to get sad without losing confidence.
Not easy.
Yeah, not easy. Easily said, but tough.
And for Vaishali, do you think like having a very strong support system in her family and Pragg was very helpful?
Yeah, her family has always played a very, very crucial role in both Vaishali and Pragg's careers. They have always been there. And I periodically tell them maybe it's time they should start traveling alone and have food at the restaurants, not have everything given to them ready-made. Let them suffer a bit from the outside world. They have to learn to deal with the challenges coming from the outside world. That will also make them, I feel like, a bit more self-confident that you solve your own problems, not just on the board, but off the board as well. So sometimes we do that, sometimes it doesn't happen and so on. But her mother especially has been traveling, and earlier they both were not very strong, so they both could play in the same open tournament and she could be there for both. But now they play in different events, they get invitations in different events, and she has to choose with whom she has to travel, and the other is she could not be there. And also I have to mention about the sacrifice of his father. Even when I was talking to him before I came, I said can I try to get a ticket for you? You should be there. And he said no, I will. There are some logistical issues for him to travel, so he has never gone to tournaments with their children. The whole world has seen them play, but he sits at home and watches. So, but one good thing is during the Chennai Olympiad, they could come and stay there and
yes,
be there.
I remember. I think it was a nice feeling for him to be in the same place where both were playing.
Yeah, and the other thing I have to say is many parents nowadays, maybe post-COVID, I don't know what's the right word. Interfere is the right word, because they care for their children's growth. But they give lot of suggestions. They take some big decisions by themselves. Many times it hurts the player's career path. But with Pragg's parents, whether they are doing well or not, they never panic too much, and they trust the process. And somehow, I don't know, they kind of trusted me. I'm really thankful to them. And when Pragg could not win the candidates last time, I was very sad, and I offered maybe it's time for him to move on to a different coach or a better coach, because maybe I'm not able to help him as much as he deserves. But his father said we want you to continue. I don't know, that trust he has, really thankful. But yeah, they both never interfere in any of the big decisions. They never tell me what I should teach them, how they should be taught. But many players I see they do this.
Actually, this just a small side, like we are talking about Vaishali and Pragg and their family, but a side note on this kind of triangle which exists in the chess world for any growing player, that is the coach, the player, and the parents.
Yeah.
And I see that this is a very important triangle.
Yes.
To get it right.
Yeah.
And how do you see it as, because each one has to play a role,
Yeah.
and many times, as you said, parents take a rash decision.
Yes.
Many times coaches are lax, they are not giving their 100%, like, and so it's very difficult to understand who is right, who is not right. What would be your...
More than who is right and wrong, what is important is everyone should play their role properly. Maybe honestly is the word. Then it would mean if we don't understand it properly, are the parents dishonest? I don't mean that. I would say it's like everyone should play their role properly and just step back. The stepping back is the difficult part. From the player's side, eventually it will all come down to the child. Eventually, because the child, if they don't do their role properly, then whatever the parents and the coaches provide, if they do their best, it's still not going to be sufficient. So eventually it will boil down to the player. So after that, what usually happens is, like, most of the parents, they see all these, let's say Vaishali winning, then many parents will say, okay, my daughter should win. And then they will take some big risk, maybe get some loans or quit job, move cities, these type of things. They take some very big decisions, and in many cases the child is not as passionate or not ready to do what Vaishali has done. Vaishali is not here because the parents are the coach. We have played some supportive role, but she has really worked, sacrificed a lot in her life to be here. So this kind of commitment and sacrifice we cannot expect from many. Only few can do. But the parents will expect the child to do well. They think their child is so good, they can also do, and they give full support, and many times even beyond their means. And then it becomes a pressure.
Yes.
And when the child is not able to reciprocate, and then it becomes a pressure, and they will start interfering with the trainer. Maybe you should change the opening. Instead of this opening, maybe my child should be taught this other
This is
opening,
quite
and
common.
so on. It's become so common. And this is where all the things start going wrong.
This definitely deserves an entirely different video and perhaps discussion. But coming back to Vaishali, are there any anecdotes or any episode that you remember that can be shared to just show
No, many things. I remember a couple of years ago, one person had some information which will be very helpful for Vaishali to have that information. And when that person volunteered to give that information, immediately Vaishali said no. He said, I should not get this information from you.
Wow.
So I was so proud because she could have been selfish and just received the information. But she said, no, I should not be getting this information. And so she is someone who
Very
is
honest.
very ethical, extremely ethical, and I'm very proud of that.
This is very difficult to actually inculcate. Yeah, it's something which you see around you, and maybe if people are
People
like that,
want to take advantage of the situation if it will benefit them, and if they have to do some things sideways, they don't mind doing. This is what we see everywhere. But with Vaishali and Pragg, and they are very unassuming. It's like you are talking to some next door child. You don't realize like they are so talented. It doesn't get to their head. I've seen so many where success get to their head and they start acting like, I don't know. I don't want to put any wrong words. But with them, like, they are always very humble, down to earth. And that is something that quality I like them very much.
in these candidates, overall, did you like Vaishali's play? Did you enjoy her games? Which one did you think? And maybe one of the things that Pranesh spoke about was that Vaishali's ability to defend inferior positions is really, really good.
Yeah, so earlier, like when she gets into trouble in passive positions, she would make mistakes and lose more often. I still have, despite her win here, I still feel she can play much better. And she's probably 60, 65, 70% of her potential. She's capable of analyzing amazing lines, and she's also capable of making 1 + 1 4 type of mistake. So both the extremes are possible. So there are kind of two Vaishalis there in her. And she should learn to camouflage the bad qualities in her better. I think she can still do it much better. I like the way she played, I'm not getting the name, Gorichkina. So that game,
this London
Gorichkina,
system game.
yeah, so it's like she played all the nice positional moves.
Yes.
But I was very impressed by that game. But even in that game, that tendency to play passively was there. But she was doing it for the right reason. So whenever she is playing positionally, she has to play those passive-looking moves for the right reasons. That she has
So
to get it
bishop
right.
E8, bishop D8.
Yeah, all those moves. And then rook D7, bishop C7 exchange, and again bring in the rook. So she was doing all that very well. So that is pure positional class, and she should display it more often.
Yeah, we all know her for her attacking play. Like she really attacks very well
Yeah, and then gets emotional.
and sacrifices pieces.
Yeah, sometimes when it is not required. This emotional control.
But having Pranesh here was very helpful. I think that was a very smart move overall. It seems like somehow it worked in it's an idea which is not so easy to come, and I think you are the one, you and maybe Aarti, you both came up with this, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah, because even Aarti knows Vaishali very, very well. They have their own conversations where we are not allowed. And so where she tells her problems to Aarti. And then Aarti will say like, okay, so how do we deal with this situation? And we try to come up with some solution. But I was telling this maybe even many months ago. I was proposing this, that you should take Pranesh with you. And so Pranesh was asking, what will I do? What should I do, sir? What is my role? I said, you just be yourself. Because like with him around, it's tough to be sad. He will make everything a bright situation. And yeah, most of these decisions, like the way I see is like we have to take decisions, and while taking the decision, we are not sure it's the right decision or not. Only in hindsight, we can see how it turned out to be, and if it turned out well, then we can say what I did is right. But when you take the decision, we are not really sure.
True. It also, I think, helped.
It could also have backfired.
Yeah, it could have
Maybe
backfired.
she would have wanted some empathy, and he is making fun of it. It could have gone the other way too.
True.
But they both like each other very much.
Yeah.
They know each other very well. So I was hoping she will not be offended by his casual approach, I don't know, a fun approach to everything.
And also for Pranesh, it's important because he's closing in on 26. He's already 26-30, and somehow openings is he mentioned it's not his forte. So this kind of experience also helps him get better there.
Yeah, I was also telling Pranesh, like when Vaishali is playing, you should observe how in the open section the players are approaching the opening choices, how they decide on the openings, how they prepare, how they focus, how they manage the time. Try to observe and learn as much as you can. It's good to see the best players in the world fighting, and you are there in person to learn from them.
Amazing. And now coming to the World Championship match, which will be one of the things that Vaishali said 2-3 times, is that she's excited to play in the glass like okay, the World Championship, of course she's very excited.
I never thought of a World Championship in that sense.
Yeah, she said like from young age I used to see like inside the glass cubicle, and now I will get to play. So she's very excited about that. But Ju Wenjun is a very seasoned and 5-time world champion. Someone,
5 times, huh?
Yeah, 5 times world champion, and she's kind of faced just about everyone, right? She's faced Lei Tingye, Tan Zhongyi, Goryachkina, and she has overcome each one of them. So it will not be easy match. I mean, it will be very tough.
It should not be easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it is easy, then there's no fun for the spectators and no fun for the players as well, if there is a clear favorite. Ideally, it should be a good fight. So, 5-time world champion means she has a lot of experience and she knows how to approach a match. And for us, we are like beginners in that sense. We have to find our way of how we should approach. But that's also the fun part, isn't it? New challenges. Yeah, we will deal with it. I think went for a walk shortly, and I was telling I read somewhere Maya Chebudan, she was the first to win the candidates being the last seed, and she went on to win the world championship. So I was telling, and Vaishali says, yeah, I also read it. So I hope that will happen.
And then she beat Nona Gaprindashvili, who was like world champion for many years.
Yes.
So it's always
Maybe it's
possible.
time for a change.
Right, and this has been such an incredible journey, right? Like from 1970, meeting some young girl who's now going to play for the highest title. Do you sometimes feel like, oh, this is like a dream, that's unfolding?
No, how I see is somehow the three of us believed that they both will become world champion. She'll be the women world champion and Pragg will be the men champion. We never had doubts.
3 as in who?
Myself, Pragg and Vaishali, the
All
three of us
believed
knew
that. Okay.
they both will become world champion. We never thought will it be possible, or would it be, can we do it, should we try? I mean, we somehow like a blind man, we just trusted. I mean, we kind of not trust, we just know it will happen. Maybe we are idiots to think like that, but that is what is nice about this journey.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and I think it continues, and I think there are challenges still. So
there will be challenges.
That's also exciting for you, right? As a trainer who's achieved so much.
Something I'm trying to learn myself, and that is precisely what I'm trying to teach these kids. Nothing should be easy. Nothing they should take for granted, and for nothing they will have guarantee that this will happen. This is bound to happen because I want it to happen. No, you have to earn every millimeter of the way. So you have to be deserving of what you dream, what you wish for. You should be first deserving, and it should be achieved with lot of sacrifices and lot of difficult moments. And all those difficult moments are what, even Pragg had a very tough time here. Yeah. But in a way, I'm happy it's happening to him, because if he manages to understand what is happening to him, why it is happening, what are the things he should change in himself, and if he's eventually able to make those changes, I think these experiences will be very useful. This is what will shape them.
Till what point do you think a player can have this attitude of learning and improving? At some point they get tired and they say, enough now, I can't do this. So is there some balance to that because if there are too many challenges all the time, not good performance, it can tire you out, no?
Yes, it can lead to a lot of frustrations. You want something, you are putting a lot of effort, you are very confident you will get, and then bad things happen, and then you are not giving up, you are pushing back again, and then some bad results. So when this happens over a period of time, usually people start slowly, gradually losing motivation. And then they'll say, okay, should I go through the cycle one more time? And they will start doubting themselves, and then it gets very hard. And with age, this is bound to happen to everyone. So they are still young, and so they should not worry about these things. They should always believe I can be the best. And it's not going to be easy, because all these top players, they don't want to make you a great player. They want to beat you and become a great player themselves. So, and it is this kind of challenge, tough challenge from others. If we deal with it right way, it will shape us in the right path.
Amazing. Well, Ramesh, thank you as always for amazing insights and for this beautiful journey that we are witnessing. Thanks to so many unsaid and so many unseen efforts that have been put by you. So, thank you for that.
Thank you, Sagar.